Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace. Welcome to my cooking show, The Natural Cook. I am Anna Gershenson.
And I'm Jill Weiner. I'm 10 and I go to Egremont Elementary in Pittsfield.
Welcome to my show.
Thanks.
I'm very excited to have you, Joe. Well, we are getting ready to celebrate Passover, and Jewish people all over the world are going to celebrate Passover soon. So today, we are going to include matzah into our recipes. And the reason that I invited Joe to help me to prepare special recipe of Quinoa Falafel with spicy yogurt sauce is because we don't have to use matzah just for Passover. We can use matzah all year long together with matzah meal and matzah cake meal. And I was actually at a very interesting event where I saw a documentary about Striped Matzah Company, and I also met two people. One of them is the heiress of the Striped Matzah, Michelle Helbrun, and the chef David Kirshner, who created a book with recipes where you can make either dinner food or breakfast food every day of the year if you want to, using matzah. So let's start, Joe. All right. So in order for us to prepare our meal today, we are going to use onion. But in the meantime, Joe already did a wonderful job preparing these herbs for me, and he's going to show you how we separate the stems from the leaves. Right, Joe? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'll give this bowl to you, and you can put stems right into the garbage can, and you can do more of them right into this bowl. And in the meantime, I'm going to be working with a knife. I have a red onion here, and this is what is going to go into our falafel. And first, we have to mince it, and we have to put it into a pan to saute together with garlic and with cumin. And we will be using many herbs and spices today, and we'll be talking about them a little bit as well. So let's heat up our stove, and let's heat up our pan a little bit, but not too much. We don't want the oil to burn. So we will mince the onion finely, and then we'll add garlic and cumin, and we will be able to start smelling it, right, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like spices?
Definitely.
What spices do you like?
I don't know.
Well, let's talk about spices we're using today. Are you familiar with cinnamon?
Definitely.
Okay. And what about cumin?
I've had it a few times, but I'm not that familiar with it.
All right. So, but you don't dislike it, right?
Probably not.
Okay. And then coriander. Do you know that coriander is a spice of which plant that we are working with today? You are actually working with it right now.
Cilantro.
Yes. And you would never be able to guess that because they have very different aromas and flavors. Cilantro and coriander have very different aromas and flavors. So we have our onion. So another spice that we are going to use today is hot paprika. Look how what I'm doing in order to make it easier to peel the garlic. See? I whack it, and then I cut off this little part that holds the peel. And look how easily it comes off. Look, Joe. See?
That's definitely helpful.
Yes, that's for sure. Next time when you are helping your mom or dad, you'll be able to also do that, right? If they let you use the knife. So
Won't be for a couple years, but
okay. So who is doing most cooking in your family?
my dad,
And do you like his cooking?
definitely.
What does he make for you?
A lot of meat,
Yes. But do you like meat?
yes.
Does he cook vegetables too?
Yeah,
You know,
and dairy stuff.
I actually saw him at the farmer's market once where he was choosing vegetables for his meal, and he looked very excited about cooking. So do you think he's a good chef?
Yes.
Oh, that's great. So is there anything that you do not like? Like any kind of food you do not like?
Some types of fish, but that's pretty much it.
Okay, so you're
Okay,
easy.
that's not it.
No?
Hershey's chocolate as well.
What? Oh, certain kind of chocolate, right? Okay, so our pan got too hot, so we'll have to let it cool a little bit. Okay, because we don't want to burn the oil. I can see. How can I tell that the pan is too hot? How can I-
Steaming.
Well, it's not really steaming. Steam comes off of water, right? But this is really burning. This is smoke. It's not steam, right? Do you see? Okay. All right, so let's put it aside, and in the meantime, we can chop our herbs. Since we cannot...
Does that mean I can stop?
Yes, you can stop now. So what we will do, in general, it's nice to chop herbs by hand, and I can show how to do it by hand so that our viewers and you can learn, right? So we will take, say, for example, parsley, right? We'll take the parsley, and then instead of doing like every little piece, I will make a ball out of it. See? I create a tight ball, and then I hold it with my hands, and then I create a claw with my fingers, and then not to let my fingers be cut, right? Because if my knuckle is sticking out, there is no way that I will cut my fingers. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. So next time, I know that you have great memory. Next time when you do this, you can practice at home. And in the meantime, while I'm chopping herbs, and I will put them in the food processor because it will be easier for us, what you can do is you can crack an egg, because we are going to use a matzah mix with egg in it. So why don't you? Yes, just good. And you can, whoopsie.
Oh.
All right. Okay, so now put the shells here. Make sure we don't have any shells there. And this is why I prepared a little rag so that you can now dry your hands, clean your hands. Okay, very nice. And now, do you know how to beat the egg? Okay. Just scramble it. Yeah. Keep scrambling until you see that egg white and egg yolk are mixed together. All right, so now that our pan has cooled, and see, I can tell that the oil is not burning, but it is shimmering just a little bit. We'll put a couple of tablespoons of oil, and we will put our chopped onion and garlic into the pan. And how can you tell that it started cooking? Can you tell without looking at it?
The sizzling.
Yes, that's right, sizzling. This is why we need to be present in the kitchen, right? Because our senses tell us what is happening.
I think that's going to be good for the egg.
That's good. So now you can take this bowl and put the egg into the bowl. I also always add a pinch of salt when I cook any kind of vegetables. And we'll add also our cumin, 1.5 teaspoons. We'll mix them together. So now you'll be able to smell cumin. And after this, I know you will remember this smell and you will recognize it anytime, right? Okay.
Smells kind of like a Moroccan beef stew that my dad makes.
Yes, okay, so I guess he uses cumin as well. All right, so let it saute. We'll let it saute. And we need some water. So while you are going to be adding the matzah meal, 1/2 cup of matzah meal into this mix, I will bring some water, okay? We will also add water to this mix.
Is this half a cup already?
This is already, yeah, you don't need to measure. You can just add it. Just add it there. Okay. And we need, let's see, 3 tablespoons water. So this is our tablespoon. So why don't you take and measure? 3 tablespoons. Yes, 1. Make sure that it's full. 2 and 3. Great. Okay. Now you can take the same fork. Yeah, let's make sure that all the egg is in. Okay? And you can just go around and round to mix it together. And I'm watching my onions and garlic to make sure that they do not burn, right? But they need to be translucent. When they become translucent, at that point we can stop cooking them and we can put them here to cool. Okay, make sure to go round. See, if you go like that in round motion, it will be easier for you. And make sure to scrape from the sides. Keep going. This is why kids' hands are very useful in the kitchen. You can do one thing and then they can help you with the other. And then even if they don't like something you're making, I bet they will want to eat it because they made it. Okay, so I'm turning off.
Besides, this is falafel. Why wouldn't I want to eat it?
Well, right, but if there is something else, you're absolutely right. You already know what falafel is. I don't know if everybody knows what falafel is. And what do we usually make falafel with?
Chickpeas.
Right, today we make it with quinoa. And quinoa is actually a very, very healthy grain. It's a super grain. It was very revered by the Incas, and that's where it was cultivated and still cultivated in Latin America, in Central America, in countries like Peru and Colombia. So this is cooked quinoa, and this is raw quinoa. And it's not really a grain, it's a seed, right? Mm-hmm. So this is why we can eat it for Passover if we want to. So this is cooling. And in the meantime, we will add our quinoa. You can do that. Okay. We can also grate some, let's put it away. We can grate some lemon zest because it goes into our mix as well. And by grating it, we will do it like this. See, we are rotating, making sure that the white stuff doesn't go in, just the yellow stuff. Okay, let's see how you do it. Okay, yeah, good job. Just make sure to keep the microplane above the bowl. And I'm going to stick these herbs into the food processor just to make it easier for us. And we'll add a lot of herbs. There will be half a cup of parsley and also 1/3 cup of cilantro and 1/3 cup of mint. So we will just employ the food processor. All right, a little more. Okay, good job. Okay, that's enough, that's good enough. We'll
Do we need
process the
to
rest.
juice this now?
Juice, we will use juice. Right now we don't need to use the juice because the juice will go into the yogurt sauce with more zest. In the meantime, you can start mixing it in, okay? And we will also add some of our spices. Yes, like all of these, which are hot paprika. Now you can just toss it in, and we actually, according to the recipe, we should have used red pepper in this mix, but I didn't put it there, so we'll just put a little pinch into this and add our mixture that we sauteed. And we need to make it a little cooler so that it doesn't cook our egg there, right? And then we'll add some mint and cilantro. And we'll have a lot of herbs. So you can start mixing and I will give you more herbs to mix in. let's push it in. So our mixture will be really, really green. Okay. Okay.
Falafel is green in the first place, so this does work.
Well, whether you make it with chickpeas or you make it with quinoa, it doesn't matter, right? It's a very, very green mix. Okay, and you know what? It's really much easier to mix it with your hands. So, yeah, roll your sleeves and just go with your hands and mix it. Just keep going. Yes. Make sure, like, squeeze it and make sure that everything is mixed together, that you have a uniform mix that you can then shape. Okay. All right. So now that your hands are dirty and we have to wash them, we'll take a break to wash our hands.
Hard break.
So we mixed our egg and matzo meal and onion mixture and herbs. And now we had it in the refrigerator for 15 minutes, uncovered so that it can thicken. And we also mixed in matzo cake meal to bind it more. So now we have our mixture that will be easy to shape. And we will be shaping it into 2-inch patties that are about 1/2 inch high. So we will I'll show you how to do it, Joe, and then you'll take over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are going to be rolling this ball, and then we are going to be flattening it. See, it's pretty round. Then we flatten it with both hands, like that, and place it on the baking sheet that we oiled. Okay, so you can continue. Let me see how you do it. And in the meantime, I will be making the yogurt sauce. Okay, good job. Okay, I think you can add a little more because we want to have them the same size, otherwise they won't be cooking at the same speed. Okay, good. Great. So make sure that they are shaped nicely, but we can correct it a little later, and that they have space between them, okay? So
Okay.
you keep going, and in the meantime, I will be making the yogurt sauce.
Is this too much?
I think that's a good amount. Thank you for checking with me. So I'm rolling the lemon, and you know why I'm doing it? Because you can get more juice after you roll the lemon. So, but first, I'm going to grate some zest, because once we juice the lemon, it won't be easy to grate the zest, right? So we will zest about 1/2 a lemon, and we will use the juice of about 1/2 a lemon. And we have a cup of Greek yogurt sitting there and waiting for other flavorings. All right, so juice of 1/2 lemon will go to our sauce. How are you doing?
Good.
Is it fun?
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So do you think you'll be comfortable going into the kitchen and showing your mom or dad how to make this recipe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so we can add more if we need to, but in the meantime, let's add our spice mix, which is 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of hot paprika, coriander, and cumin. See, all kinds of spices go into it. So, Joe, what do you know about spices? What do you think the difference is between spices and herbs? How can you tell which is an herb and which is a spice? And I'll give you a test, okay?
Herbs are normally leaves,
Yes.
while spices are powder.
Well, they are not really powder until they are ground, right?
Yeah.
But you're absolutely on track that herbs are leaves, and spices are either there can be like peppercorns, or can be a bark, right, like cinnamon, or it can be a nut, like a nutmeg, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once we grind them, what do you think? Do they lose potency after you grind them? They keep longer if they're whole? What do you think?
Since herbs and spices probably come directly from plants, I'd say that they last longer when they're ground.
No, This time you are wrong, but good try. You know, if you take like a whole peppercorn, right? You know, do you know what black peppercorns look like?
No.
No? Okay. So if you take, for example, a cumin seed, and it stays as a seed, then it will stay fresh much longer than once you grind it. And you know what happens when you grind it? When you grind it, then it is dispersed, and all the oils that are part of that start dissipating, right? And of course, it's the oils and all kinds of flavorings, flavorful compounds that give it its flavor, right? So that's why we say that it's better to grind fresh. You want to wash your hands?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you wait a little bit?
Okay.
And then you'll wash your hands. You see what I'm doing? I'm reshaping it a little bit because it's important to have them the same size, because if they are not the same size, then you know what happens? What do you think will happen if they are not the same?
Some of them get burnt.
Exactly. Some of them will cook faster and some of them slower, and we want them to be all uniform. But you did a good job. So I'm flipping it now. Okay. So speaking about herbs and spices are very, very important in our diet because they have a lot of flavonoids that are good for our health and antioxidants, and they were very revered many, many thousands of years ago. You know, people were fighting over herbs and spices, and they used them as currency. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. So you know what? Now that we shaped them, I will ask you to open the oven for me, and I will put it into 475-degree oven. I preheated it, and we'll put it on the lower shelf, but be careful. Stay away. When you open the oven, the heat will come out. So you don't want your face there. So open it carefully and stay away. Good. Great. Okay, now you can close. And they will be baking. And in the meantime, while they are baking, we are finishing our yogurt sauce. So let's see. Do you remember what we put into the sauce? I'm testing your memory. Okay, we put Greek yogurt, we added the spices, we added lemon zest and lemon juice, and we'll add a little bit of salt, and pinch of salt, and then mint. And we are going to mix together, and then we are going to taste it. And you are going to tell me if you like it. See? We mix it together. In the meantime, our falafel will be baked for 10 minutes. Yes, you know where the spoons are. For 10 minutes on one side, and then for 10 minutes on the other side, and then we'll be able to eat it. Okay, you can taste. All right.
I like it.
Okay, so let's take a break and wait until our falafel is done, and then we'll let our viewers know how it tastes. Okay, Joe, so I took the sheet pan out of the oven, and you see it's all nicely browned, and now we're ready to plate it. How can you tell that it's ready? Can you smell anything in this kitchen?
No, not really.
Really? Oh, I know why. Because you have a little cold today, right? But you can taste things.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because if you could, you would smell all these wonderful spices and cooking falafel. Okay, so let's dress our arugula that we are going to use in order to plate our falafel. Let's sprinkle a little bit of salt on it. And then we will grate a little bit of lemon zest and drizzle some olive oil and lemon juice, and we'll mix it together. Do you like arugula?
I haven't really tried it.
Okay, you'll have a chance to try it now. And you know what? It has a little bit of flavor. So if you drizzle lemon juice on it, then it kind of tames here. It tames the bitterness of arugula. Okay, let's do it together. Let's just push. Yes. Great. We'll take another half. Okay. And let's do it together. Yes, great. Okay, wonderful. Okay, good job. Now we are going to put a little bit of olive oil and then just toss it together. And it will be ready for us to enjoy together with our falafel, and it will look very pretty, right? So we'll take falafel, and you can help me, and put it right here, all around. Yes. Okay, don't wipe it on your shirt. You have a towel. Okay. All right, now our yogurt sauce. I like to add a little bit of olive oil into this sauce because it makes it a little richer, and then with the help of the oil, the flavors will come through better. Okay, so we'll put it into our dish, and we'll place it in the middle so that we can then help ourselves to it. And you can do it. See, there is a space there. Why don't you do it? Yes, wonderful. And now you can taste it. So why don't you take your plate, and I'll put it a little bit of greens on it, and the falafel, and a little bit of sauce, and you can taste it. Okay, so you will tell me how it tastes. And in the meantime, this wonderful recipe came from the book called Matzah. And Stride's company initiated this wonderful cookbook, invited David Kirshner to create recipes, and there are many more there in this book like this. And so what do you think? Yeah. Was it worth our effort?
Yep.
Yes. So do you think that you can show your dad now how to make this at home, and you will be able to do it together?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So we learned about quinoa and about spices, and you learned how to chop the herbs, how to take them off the stems. So you have a lot of useful skills now that you can use in the kitchen and actually offer to your parents, right? When they are doing, you can ask, Daddy, can I come to the kitchen now and help you, right? Okay, so thank you for joining us. I will post this wonderful recipe on my Facebook page, and I hope you can buy the book and find many more beautiful recipes there. Goodbye. Support for this program is provided in part by Guido's Fresh Marketplace.